Hello, in this video we are going to learn about Sanford Harmony Lesson 3.2. Our key concepts in this video are going to be practicing and implementing effective communication strategies that can help us have more positive work group experiences. It is important to take the time to learn and practice communication skills. We are going to read through another little play or skit, and it's focusing on communication boosters. And this play is going to have a little bit different outcome than lesson 3.1. As a reminder, our boosters are listening, supporting, negotiating, and facilitating. These four things are very important to keep in mind when you are communicating with other people, and especially when you are working on a group activity. It is always important to make sure that you're listening, you're supporting, that means you're encouraging other people, you're negotiating, which means you're coming to a compromise if there is a conflict. So instead of arguing, you're going to work through it together and figure out how you can solve the problem. And then facilitating. That means being a leader, taking the initiative to solve the problem, and encouraging your group members to do something great. Here are my boosters. Again, we have listening, facilitating, negotiating, and supporting. Feel free to pause this video if you would like and read through the definitions and a few examples of what each of these four boosters are. Now, we are going to be focusing on the boosters today. In the skit that we're about to read through, you are going to be asked to identify when you see listening happening, which is responding to group members' ideas and questions. You're going to be asked to identify when facilitating is happening, which means providing the group with leadership that takes into consideration other members' needs and perspectives. Negotiating will happen. That means problem solving or compromising when there is a disagreement or conflict within the group. And most of all, supporting, which is encouraging and supporting group members when they need help or become discouraged. But unfortunately, sometimes those bloopers do happen as well. So we have bloopers here, which are interrupting, controlling, ignoring, and withdrawing. In lesson 3.1, we've focused a lot of time on these bloopers. And again, if you want to pause this video and read through the definitions and examples, you are welcome to do so. But it's important that you're aware of these bloopers. So that way, when you're working with others, when you're doing a group project, when you're communicating with other people, it's important to always think about these bloopers so you don't do these bloopers. We really want to try our best to avoid having these bloopers occur, because when these bloopers do occur, that's when your communication is not that great and when you don't have a good experience when you're working with other people. And as we get older and as we learn the appropriate ways to communicate with others, we want you to have good experiences. So that's why it's important to understand what these bloopers are so we don't make these mistakes when we're communicating with others. Instead, we want to try to have these boosters occur. And if a blooper does occur, think about how you can fix that by using one of these boosters. So in this video, like I said, we are going to read through a skit. This skit has a little bit different outcome than lesson 3.1. I've identified boosters that have been happening in this play. So pay very, very close attention when you hear some of these boosters or you see it on the screen when they occur. And think about how that character responded differently than the previous skit and what that person did correctly in this situation that led to this booster, because that's how you want to be communicating with other people, by listening and supporting others as you're having conversations with others. So your goal here is name that booster. Since we are doing this online, I actually put the boosters there for you. I've already identified it. So as I come across it, I want you to think about that in your head. What was going on? How was that person listening? How was that person supporting? And ask yourself, is this how you communicate with other people? If it is, continue to do that. If it's not, think about how you can change some of your communication skills. So, once upon a time in a classroom not too far away. Okay, class, settle down. Quiet, please. All eyes on me. I'll count down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done, table 4. I can tell you're listening. Miss, very impressive, students. Okay, everybody, it's time for social studies. Today we'll work within our small groups on the globe project. Yeah! Supplies are passed out to each group and include flour, newspapers, water, a balloon, and a tub. Herman, Julio, Jenna, and Patrice form a cooperative learning group. I'm not sure what to do. I was absent last week when Mr. Finkel went over the instructions. Can you fill me in, Julio? Sure, no problem. That's great, great listening skills here. Okay, first pick out a balloon and put it on the table. Does it matter which color? No, just pick a color you like. Wow, that's great encouragement and support as well as listening. Oh, there are no more blue balloons left, only a green one. Blue is my favorite color. Herman looks at Julio, who happens to have the last blue balloon. Blue is my favorite color too, but I also like orange. Patrice is holding the only orange balloon. There are red and green balloons still on the table. I have an idea. I'll take a red balloon. Julio, can I have my orange one? Can I have the orange one? And Herman can have blue. What do you think? Wow, negotiator. That means they're coming to a compromise. They're deciding what can they do so they each have a color. That works for me. Me too. The students switch balloons. Okay, so let's move to the next step. We're supposed to blow up our balloons. The students nod and blow up their balloons. Julio fumbles with his balloon when it comes time to tie it up. He gets visibly frustrated as the other students' balloons are all tied. It's okay, Julio. Don't give up. You'll get it. This is frustrating me. I've never been good at tying balloons. Anyone have an idea on how to do this? I know what you mean. It's hard to get them tied. I can help you. Wow, this is a great example of supporting and listening. Herman shows Julio how to tie his balloon. Thanks, Herman. I just couldn't get it around my finger. No problem. Okay, team, what do you think we should do next? Wow, someone continuing the group project, making sure that they continue on to the next step. I think we should start ripping the newspaper. Good idea, Patrice. Ripping newspaper will be fun. That means Jenna listened to Patrice. Let's rip them together. Okay, while you're doing that, I'll get the mixture going, Herman. Do you want to help? Well, I'd rather rip up newspapers. We don't have that many newspapers to rip up. It's okay. I'll finish ripping up the newspaper and I'll give the rest to Herman to rip up. I can then help Julio with the mixture. I like getting my hands dirty too. Thanks, Jenna. You sure you don't mind? Nope, it's cool. Jenna hands newspapers to Herman, who finishes ripping up the paper. Julio pours water and flour into the tub. Okay, we're finished ripping up the newspapers. How's the mixture coming? Good. We're finished mixing. I think the next thing we're supposed to do is put the strips of paper into the mixture. Okay, I can help with that. A lot of great boosters happening on this page. Notice a lot of listening, facilitating, negotiating, really great things as they each support each other and they continue to complete the group task. Are you sure, Julio? I thought we were supposed to put the balloons in the mixture. I thought Mr. Finkel said we should put the newspaper in there and then put the newspaper on the balloon. I could be wrong, though. Why don't we ask him to be sure? Good idea. I'll go ask him. Patrice walks away to speak to Mr. Finkel. I wonder how long the globe will take to dry. We probably should be able to take them home today or tomorrow. Yeah, probably. That would be cool. Patrice comes back to the table. Good memory, Julio. He said we should put the strips of paper in the mixture. Let's do it. Patrice is doing a great job supporting his teammates. Patrice and Herman put the newspaper strips into the mixture. Should we take turns getting the paper out of the mixture? Sounds good to me. Before the group has a chance to get the newspaper onto their globe, Mr. Finkel chimes in. Okay, class, quiet down. It's time to start cleaning up. We'll finish our globes after lunch. Herman, Patrice, Jenna, and Julio clean up their area and line up for lunch. Now, the ending of this story is significantly better than lesson 3.1 when there was bloopers. When there are boosters that happen, when people are listening, facilitating, supporting, negotiating with one another during a group activity, there is a much better and positive outcome. That is your goal when you are working with group members. When you are able to complete the task, or even if you don't finish the task fully in this situation, that's okay. You have another day to continue working. But all the group members left happy, learning something new, and work together to complete that task. And that is the goal. Those group members, Herman, Patrice, Jen, and Julio, did not leave that class upset or sad like they did in lesson 3.1. Instead, they left much happier because they had a great experience in class. There was no arguing. They got along really, really well because they were using boosters as they worked together. Now, I can't stress this enough. It is so important that you are listening. That means listening and responding to group members' ideas and questions. You are facilitating. That means providing the group with leadership that takes into consideration other group members' needs and perspectives. Negotiating means to engage in problem solving or compromising when there is a conflict or disagreement within the group. Supporting is encouraging and supporting group members when they need help or become discouraged. When you are in school or out of school, it is always important to always think about these boosters as you are communicating with anyone in your life. When you follow these boosters and you use these boosters, I can guarantee you, you will always have a positive outcome.